Hey guys, Deb here with Art and Grace. Come on in. I'm opening up one of my kits. This has been the best thing since I discovered, why don't I just use one of my own kits? It makes it so easy because everything's right here. I don't have to fumble around and try to find, I just grab it off the shelf and we're ready. So there's that. Okay, I'm gonna focus. I have that little squirrel brain going. So whenever you get a kit from me, if you ever do, everything's included just about, unless there's exceptions. So I'm just going to open my paint and let me show you, no matter who you get one of these from, if you will just do the corner, then you can put a little piece of tape over it, because most of the times, I know I give extra, so you don't want that to go to waste. So just pour out what you need, and I don't know, you can't really tell, but I poured out maybe 1/4. And then if you want to tape it back up, but I like to kind of pour it out when I'm on an event, because I don't want to keep having to get my brush all, or keep having to stop and get more. So I've been doing this online for, now that I say that, 1920, December of 2019 was my, wait, no, that was still in person. April, it might have been around April of 2020 then. I don't know, guys, but that's how long I've been doing art online. I used to do in-person paint parties, and so when COVID happened, like for so many people, we were not able to go and do, and all the people that I had been having at other paint parties were saying, hey, do you have any canvases and stuff you could sell me? And I put together art kits and sold to the ladies in my area, just kind of around our area. They would come pick them up on my porch. And that was a hassle, because I don't know, you guys remember at that time we were, Lysoling everything. I had to wear gloves to even package them. So it was a lot of work. But anyway, we did that for a long while. And then I finally bit the bullet and went live. So going live is the best thing ever, because we've all met, many of us met. And if you remember back then when I started, you remember how nervous I was and all that. And probably you've met a lot of us that way, because I think a lot of us were kind of forced into the online thing. And so here we are doing our thing online, which is fantastic, because the vast majority of you we wouldn't have ever met, because you don't live in our area. So hi Sherry, hi Deb. Oh, I am too. I still sometimes can't believe it, because it's so not me to be doing this on, in a public, like I just like behind the scenes. All my positions and all my jobs are always behind the scenes. And so yeah, I honestly do not like being out there and going live necessarily, but now I do, just because I know y'all are here. So it's like my favorite time of the day. To half the time I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish it'd hurry up, because I'm just ready to, everybody checks in and all that. So anyway, I just thought for anybody who doesn't know me that I would kind of give you that little bit of background. I started my private group to help other women. So I did the online painting and all that, but then really had a heart for helping women who had been through or going through things in life. I had just gone through losing my mom, and before that dealing with Alzheimer's for years, and art helped me so much that I kind of wanted to share it. So it's just been a natural progression of all the things to where we are today. So who is in the house? I know, Tammy, right? It's really an amazing blessing that we've all had to get to know you guys. And I forget, but I try to tell you guys when I'm in an event, because there's a lot of people I won't know, but I always get off the majority of the paint, all that I can, in my paper towel, because that keeps my water cleaner, so it doesn't get all murky and yucky. Or as bad. So I'm going to dry this. This is just black paint. That's all I've done. I'm using Deco Art Americana black paint. Lamp black. Hi Mary. Hi Patty. Oh Christy, I'm so grateful that you're in there. You've been with me really from the beginning. Hi, Gloria. Well, I'm so glad she sent you here. I am a good friend with Dina. I love her and Kenny, and so I'm glad you're here. If you guys are interested at all in art, then please hit the little button and follow me. I do all kinds. My favorites are acrylic painting and glass art, and you can probably see some of the things behind me. I like colorful art. I call it fun art because it is very whimsical and carefree. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to worry about this type of art. It's just fun and relaxing. So be sure and hit the follow if you would like to see more. I also do crafts and I do mixed media. I do a little bit of watercolor. We do all kinds of things. Oh, good, Barb. Well, I'm glad you're back. Hi, Mickey. Mickey's a VIPer. Well, hi, Lynn. I'm glad you're here. Yes. There's a lot of you that I'll see every now and then and think, where did they go? You know, we had the big update, and Facebook has caused a lot of you guys to not be followers anymore. So you might check if you are not seeing the people you used to see and you miss them, then check that. Okay, so we have a ton of black paint left. I've set it off to the side, and I'm going to tape that up. And now I'm opening my white. Cynthia, hi, VIP girl. Hi, Linda Sue and Trisha. All three of those. And Mickey, they're all VIPs. Have you ever done Zen? I am not into Zentangles, Kay. I think they're really cool. And I mean, I definitely see how neat they are and everything. But no, it's not for me. But I do like them. I think they're super cool. And maybe one day, but I have my hands in so many things that I feel like if I add one more thing, I'm going to lose it. So in any art kits I send, I give you what I call student basic paintbrushes. You can paint this whole painting with these, but why would you? These are kind of like in a pinch, you know. I'm just being honest. I don't really charge you for these. They're just kind of freebies I throw in. So I definitely recommend using your own, but you can use these, but I'm not going to. I like to use my own brushes. And I'm going to have a round brush. Oh good. I was like, I just washed these. So here's the ones I want to use. I'm using a round brush right now. It is a number 6. I'm going to get it a little bit wet and dip it into this white. And I'm going to mix out a little bit of gray. So just taking the white and kind of moving it over here. And I'm just going to see what black is on my palette right there. I'm mixing with this to get this light gray. I don't want dark, but just kind of a light gray. And the first thing I think I'm going to do is sketch this on, because the times that I just wing it and go for it, every now and then it doesn't work out. Okay, I've got a chalk pencil. You guys keep chit-chatting and I will see it. Chalk pencil, where are you? It's okay. We will use a pencil, but I wanted y'all to see. Tell you what. Oh, I dropped it. I remember. But I don't see it. It's probably down in the rabbit hole. I do remember dropping it. So I do have others. They're probably all dull. Chalk pencils are great if you want to chalk something out before you just go for it. So we're going to do that. I'm going to kind of trying to decide how big, probably like this. And I'm going to draw a sunflower. I typically start with the middle petal because I know I want it to be, you know, on here kind of center, and just do like this. And I do love my art to come off the sides. So I usually will paint down wherever it would naturally go. Like so. Thank you, Vivian. How are you today? Glad you're here. And with this chalk pencil, you can see, like, if I'm like, no, I'm not so good. Now, flower shapes, you know, they're all different. They don't have to be perfect, so it's not a big deal. And, you know, with an art kit, or if you're in my VIP group, you get a tracer. So I always give everybody a tracer for anything I paint because it does make it easier. It does. So here's kind of our design. So it's going to be a sideways sunflower, and I've just brought my petals kind of on, you know, like so. And since it's chalk, we don't have to worry about the mess because our paint will cover that. Okay, ready, Freddie? I can't wait to show y'all this glass. It's so pretty. Hi, Annette. How much are my kits? They range about $30 is about the average. And if you are, here it is. I was like, I just had that brush, but I did put it in water. Oh, goodness. I can slow down, y'all. I can totally slow down because we do have a whole hour. Newbie from Ohio, I'm glad you're here, Annette. Okay, so let me go back to my paint and mix a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more of this gray. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with this gray. And I actually am going to come back to my chalk pencil because I typically don't trace stuff out too much. I usually go for it, but like I said, when I'm live, I tend to mess up because I get nervous. When I go live, I kind of get the jitters because, you know, you want to do good for Christy and for Tammy, and I don't want to mess anything up and you guys be like, oh, what a bad event, you know. So I want to do my part. Everybody else has been so good. Okay, so I'm coming in and I'm going to do a couple here in the middle is why I decided I better trace those. I typically go for it, but we'll go ahead and get those traced on. No worries if you drop. So here's the thing. This type of art is just fun and everything is fixable. This is what I taught our friend Justin. There are no emergencies in crafting or in art. We can fix anything. Annette, I didn't put a link up. In fact, this kit, it is on my Etsy. However, I haven't pushed go because I wanted to get a photo of the finished one, you know. So, but you can go to artgracepaint.com and that should be down at the bottom, linked at the bottom, and that has everything you need. It's got some art kits on there and it will take you all the places. Or you can go to Etsy and look for Art and Grace, I believe, or Art Grace Paint. I can't remember which one I'm under, to be honest. Okay, so all I'm doing is this kind of gray color. I am adding that, and if I feel like it's not quite gray enough, I'm coming back and just adding a little more. But guys, I'm not worried too much about staying in the lines. I'm just getting it on here. I do want to stay somewhat in the lines, but it's not a big deal if you go out because flowers are never perfect. You know that when you see them. Some petals are bigger, some are smaller, some are torn, some are facing the wrong way, you know. They go through a lot out there in the wind and elements, so that's kind of, if you can kind of let go of some of that perfectionism, then that is when art becomes super therapeutic. And I know my ladies that are on here will tell you that because we talk about it. You know, we've all, just about everybody in our group at some point has been through things that we've prayed over, you know, cared about. You don't get through this world without going through a lot of stuff. And so art has helped all of us in that group, and so I can promise you it'll help you too if you try it. And I do say that, you know, if you've had trouble before and you're like, it just never turns out, you know, maybe you were trying the wrong type. Sometimes, you know, what we're trying just is maybe too difficult, so start with something easy. Hi Marcia and Shelly Ann saying hi to somebody. Hi Shayna and Sheila. Yes, I'm thinking the black and white will be super pretty. I almost did a piano, but I was afraid too many people might do that. So now I'm going into my pure white. So that is the grayish looking for those two that I'm doing kind of in the background. And now I'm going to start here, you know, about here, and start with my white. Now listen, this is just a round brush. As you can see, I don't want to say that this doesn't take any skill at all, because I've, practiced and worked, but you can do this. Don't ever feel like when you watch somebody do something that, well, they're special, they're an artist, they've done this, they went to school. I haven't gone to school, I'm self-taught. If I can do this, you can do this. So give it a try if you think you might, want a hobby and or just want to, maybe you do crafting, but you might want to add art to it, or make you could do this on wood and add it to your craft. So, and then I come over here on the side and just kind of finish out that petal however I think it needs to be, like so. But you can see I'm just brushing it on, guys. If you have a few good brushes, your brushes will do the work. And then same with this one. Y'all okay? Hi, Gloria. I am so glad to see you live, girl. How are you tonight? Glad you're off work. Gloria's been with me forever. Bring this on the back or side and just fill that in. This is just the pure white. It's actually called Snow White. This is the one I typically use. Okay. So is it perfect? No, but will it be cute? Yes. Trust the process, guys. Trust the process. Hello, Twyla. Hi, Vicky. Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate you. I love, love, love painting, and I mean, my real passion is just to help women find a hobby if they don't already have something they're totally into. And if they do love painting, then come paint with us. Like, it's just so fun, and we have such a supportive community, and you guys already know that. If you're in this big community, then you know that. And then there's the break-offs. Each of us kind of have our own little thing. Hi, Tony. One of the things you love about creatives, which she encourages people. Oh, you can, Judy. I believe it. Like, it's just true, because you can. And I know, at times I've thought I couldn't do something, and sometimes that's all you need is somebody going, I promise you can do it. Try it. Just see. I always say, if you don't really even know where to start, try one of our groups. Like, I've got the Art and Craft VIPs, and you can try it for like 1 month and get all the information you need. And if you don't like it, or you think this isn't for you, then leave. But just in a pinch here, for me to just tell you what you would need one basic set of paintbrushes, a few like primary colors of acrylic paint, and I would get a mixed media art journal, and that's all you need to start. So it's not a big investment. It's not a whole ton of products that would take up a whole ton of space. So we're just moving around our little circle. And if I don't want to go right here and cover that chalk line, I can just rub it off, or use a little wet brush that's clean and get that off. Yes, that's exactly right, Judy. It just watch us. I do a lot for free on my page. Just start there. Just kind of hang out and see what you think, and give it a little bit of a try, and then go from there. Everybody kind of finds their own niche. So if acrylic painting and glass art and resin art, is not your thing, then just keep watching, because just today alone has shown you how many unique people there are out there. Everybody kind of does things a little different, puts their own twist, different personalities, and you'll resonate with somebody and kind of find your people. And remember where I made that little mistake? I just kind of put my hand down where it shouldn't be. Just cover right over it, so there's no mistakes that can't be fixed. So what do y'all think of a black and white sunflower? I have never seen one. I'm sure there's one somewhere. You know, I'm sure people have done it, but I hadn't seen one. And I purposefully, if I get something in my mind, I don't go look it up because I don't want to do something like someone else. I do it just like me. So I've painted this 100 times in yellows and golds, but have never painted a white one. So I'm just doing my own thing and seeing how it turns out. I actually practiced, so I know it'll be cute. Okay, I think it'll be neat looking. Yeah, I think so too. I know, it's just kind of fun too to do something outside of the box, you know. So Tammy, great theme. It's really fun to stretch ourselves. And like Dina and I both were saying, like, oh my gosh, black and white, we need color. But guess what? We found a way. She's letting us put our little twist of color. So we're going to make this center a fun color. Y'all, thanks for the stars. I just looked up and saw we've got 400 stars. Thank you so much. That sure does help. And people that follow me regularly know, but when I get that check from, it's an automatic deposit, but when I get that deposit, I don't even delay, y'all. I already have things in my cart that are just sitting there waiting that I need, like need, and I just go pull the trigger. So I do appreciate that. I think I can speak for every creative, you know, that most of us probably do that. And so there already, we've got the beginnings of our sunflower. Thanks, Chrissy. I think it's really cool. Thank you, Monica. I see you, girl. All colors. Yes, that's right, Christy. You love black and white, Gloria? Does anybody have their home decorated like that? Like kind of, I just think, you know, if I lived in New York or if I was a single 20-something, it'd be really cool to have like a really elegant room somewhere that's black and white with a pop of something, like maybe what I'm going to do here. Have I shown it yet? I think I did, didn't I? I did. It's gold. Okay, so now we've got these two gray ones, right? And I don't like them that gray, but I'm going to go back over them with white. And I'm just basically dry brushing on. I did not get my brush wet, so I just dipped it down into the white and basically dry brush right on top of that gray. So it's still going to peek through. You're still going to see a darker color there, but it won't be shockingly gray, right? It's now going to be white like the others, just darker, a little darker. So you can tell it's kind of behind the other. And I'm having a feathery touch. So just kind of feathering, but it's true. I say it all the time. Let your brush do the work. And this is what I mean, because I'm just letting that brush, just taking my little hand and just flick, flick, flick. And so the brush is doing the work. You're just kind of controlling where it is, where it goes. But you guys can totally do this. We're making chili, well, not we. Ron, my husband's making chili over here. We have a chili cook-off at church tomorrow, after church tomorrow. So it's like a work zone in here. You may hear pots and pans flying. And that's why I don't, well, that's one reason I don't have a comment reader. He thinks he's shy, but we'll get him on here one day. Okay, so now see, now it just kind of looks a little more like normal. I am going to fix this petal. I think it needs to come in more like so. Y'all have to give me grace doing this kind of upside down. Sometimes I get done and have to fix something. But see, I'm looking into the phone here to see, and I think I like how it's looking. Okay, so we're going to let that rest, and we're going to do our center. Y'all doing okay? Pots and pans of fun. How are you, Melissa? You're making sausage, cream cheese. Ooh, yum. That sounds so good. You made homemade peanut butter cookies, Michelle. That sounds great. My daughter made a carrot cake. It's going to be so good. I'm talking like homemade, where you shred the carrots and the whole nut. She's like a baker. She really is fantastic. Did not get it from me. She got it from my mom. And I'm so glad. I tell people she is like a mini mom. It's so weird. She's just so much like my mom. I think it skipped a generation. Okay, so here's my gold. and way too much. I just probably poured out way too much. Let me set that aside so I can reuse it. And same brush. So you saw me wipe it off, and I did clean it with water, but same brush. After he comes in May, maybe. Oh, he will be. There is no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, I think he's so close. I think he will go in our private group, Dina, because he said, you know, I'll start there, you know. But it just cracks me up that he's acting this way. I guess it's because it's women or because it's crafting and he doesn't know. I don't know. I don't know. He's a funny guy, that Ron. Okay, so just gonna get on this gold. We're gonna do a couple of coats, so it's gonna be kind of icky right now, but bear with it. Trust the process. Trust the process. Dina, your craft was so cute. I swear, everything you do, in fact, don't y'all find that if you just saw a picture of it with no name, you could pretty much say who did what? I think that's really cool how we all kind of have our own things and our own look and our own colors that we gravitate to. We're all so different, but yet, you know, similar in many ways. I am kind of careful along this edge because even though I bring my petals over, I don't bring my center. I don't know why, but all my sunflowers I do like this. And I don't bring that center. I just leave it right here on top. Okay. This is Deco Art Gold. I'll have to look at the exact color because they have so many. Glorious Gold is what I'm using. And like I said, it will take a good 2 coats. So we're going to let this, well, I'll dry it a little. And let me just look and see if it's somewhat, looks like it needs to kind of come out a little bit here. And if this one's not totally perfect, that's okay. I mean, none of them are perfect, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, now let me dry this. And I'll look at some comments. Oh, I don't know. Is it, Tammy? I don't know. Ooh, Darlene making the... I don't know what that is. Sausage, Velveeta, pepper jack, queso, and beef ball, chopped beef, cream cheese, Worcestershire sauce. Yum! I love Worcestershire sauce. Oh, thanks, Judy. See, I'm so all over the place because I'm very Texan and I love like that classy, rustic, like expensive wood and, you know, leather. I love all that. Not that we have any, but I'm just saying I love that look. But I also love girly and fancy like this, and then of course I love my whimsical color, so I just like a lot of different things. Ooh, French dip sandwich, Ron loves those. Thank you, Darlene. Vegetable fried, we had that a couple of days ago. Hi, Lisa, I don't know if I said hi to you. Thank you, Sue. How are you? When you guys see a business, you know, a crafter page, and it says follow beside it, if you see that, please give them a follow because let me tell you, we are all suffering with this last, you know, changeover they did. I lost a lot of followers. I've heard other people lost a lot of followers. And I think what's happened is just a lot of things reset. So we're no longer following people we think we are. So I, with my heat gun, am doing it kind of far away and kind of moving it a lot because I don't want my paint to bubble. This will cook your acrylic paint and it'll bubble up and get yucky. You made taco. Oh, we love taco soup here. Thank you, Brenda. Thanks, Carrie. Hi, Cynthia. Halfway mark? Wow. Woo. Gosh, that goes fast. Okay, that's okay though, because we just have another coat of the gold, and then we're going to start doing our resin and glass. So if you are like, oh, I don't like resin, I don't want to, no problem, don't do it. But a lot of people enjoy watching it even if they're never going to do it. So I like to do it when I have an hour, because we can get that whole process done. So a couple of things we're going to do. We're going to do another coat of gold here. Now my canvas is hot from that heat gun. I used to always tease Chris Hunter because she'd say, my Wagner 500, and I'd be like, I just have a Wagner 300. It's like a little baby brother of yours. But it gets so hot. It gets so hot that I don't recommend having them if you have kids or grandkids around, or just keep them way away, because it's really easy to bump into that metal part and get a really bad burn. So you can see, I mean, I'm telling you, watching this, I'm sure there's somebody out here going, I think I could do that. So if you're that person, put it in the comments, because it does something to me when I see that, and I think, oh, they're going to try it. I'm always like so happy. And when somebody sends it, like a friend of mine, Cheryl, that I've met on here, sent me what she did the other day. And I just love seeing you guys try these things that I teach. In our group, we have a post, and everybody will post what they painted, that I've taught. And at the end of the month, well, the beginning of the next month, I go through, write them all down, and then draw 2 winners. One gets a $20 Amazon card, and one gets a $10 Amazon card. So just for painting or creating, whatever it is. And even if we have a guest every month, so even if it's something they did, they're in the drawing. So I love seeing everybody's stuff. You burned your ankle. Yeah, Christy, it happens so fast. Yes. Okay. Shelly Ann can tell you, because I think, Shelly, weren't you saying one time that you didn't think you could do some things, and now you're like, I can do it. Okay, I'm just giving a little bit extra on some of these. I'm picking up the pace. I want to teach, and so I kind of take a lot of time to explain things and show things, but that gets me in trouble. So I've got to pick up the pace a little. We're still okay. And just kind of wherever I feel like it needs a little bit, but I do like for you to be able to see some of the shadows through here, so I'm not covering everything. Yes, Shelly. Several of y'all in there have said that, and then you're just like, Patty is another one who was, timid and didn't know how to do much, and look at her go. I mean, half the time I'm like, did I paint that? Is that mine? And then I'm like, no, that's Patty's. So yeah, the things that I teach you are very doable. I break it down to where it's very doable. Okay, how we looking? All right. Now, if I was just going to leave this a painting and I wasn't going to put glass and resin over it, I might take, and I did on my last one, let me just show it to you. I took a little bit of gray on my detail brush and went in between the petals to separate the petals, right? So you can totally, if you want to just paint this, then take your gray on a little small brush or on the tip of what you have and just lightly come, not a whole lot, just a little, and you can kind of separate them that way. Good, Patty, I'm proud of you. Thank you, Barbara. Oh, awesome, Janice. Yes, I've got the free group Art and Craft Showcase, and you can go in there and post away. I think I have to approve it because I'm really overcautious on my groups. It's like I'm a protective mother. So, and Patty knows this because she helps me all the time. But those guys that'll go, oh, I love your profile, but I wasn't able to send you a friend request. Send me a friend request, those people. So, man, I watch them like a hawk, and I keep them out of that group. And that's one way I can protect the rest of the people, is by approving the post so that nothing squirrely gets past me, hopefully. So yeah. Okay, there we go. Now let's move this, and look at all the paint I have left, plus what's in my packet. I just can't stand to waste paint, so I'm setting that aside so I can get it in a minute. Now, in your kit, if you ever choose to get one, you're going to get the glass you need for these projects. You get 2 cups that you need for mixing. You get a stir stick, well, a craft stick, but it's what I use for stir stick, and a couple of toothpicks, and I showed you everything else. But everything you need to do this is in there. Except, here's the thing, I do resin for special occasions, and I send resin to my VIP members. So if they order a kit, they're going to get resin with their kit. That is a bonus, a perk of being in the group. But otherwise, this is what I use, Art Resin brand. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. Oh, and you get gloves. And we'll kind of go through that, and I'll show you step by step as we go. And then you're going to need a level. And this is a Dollar Tree, $1. Y'all, I have to show you what I got for my VIPs that order these. Look, they are a miniature level that you can just one level you can send somebody. So I'm so excited about this, just because they're babies. They're so cute. Anyway, always wear gloves when you deal with resin, and of course go to the website and read all about it before you use any resin. You want to know what it's made of, what the safety data sheet says, and its recommendations. And I'm not kidding. Like, I know it sounds boring, but do it. Do the work, because your health is too important to risk. So I'm going to get out my gloves. I didn't really need to put the gloves on, but this is the right technical way to teach, is to show you, to wear gloves so that you don't cut your finger. And even though these are neoprene, is that what they're called? Neoprene? They're not latex, they're, plasticky. They will still protect from a cut. They do me. I haven't been cut if I wear these. I can hardly stand it though. I do this every time. I try to be good. I try to show y'all, and I'm like, I can't. I've done this long enough that I know I never get cut on this glass, but I do like to say that, because technically you should wear gloves. But you can just dump your glass over your gold part, like so. And then this is what I've been excited to show y'all. Look at these little pieces. They're little petals of shell, and we're just going to place them down where we need them. So I put 20, I believe it is, pieces of large and like 20 pieces of small. And then, you can arrange them however you want to. So we're just going to kind of start going and see what works. And I'm going to try to go fast. But this should also show you that it's easy. Because if I can do it fast, like this, then taking your time, you'll do a good job. And these are gorgeous little pieces. On the other side, they are iridescent. They've got a little coating on this one side that's iridescent. So if you wanted to use them for something else, or if you want to do your center a different color and then use the iridescent side, I just don't think the iridescent looks good with the gold. That's just me personally. So whatever y'all want to do would be fine. Or use what you have. Maybe you've got other things and you're thinking right now, ooh, I could use such and such, go for it. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to get a kit for me. I do that for convenience, because I don't make enough on the kits, and I'm being dead honest that it's like a big money maker or anything. I do it to get people to try it. I just want people to try it. And once you try a kit, and if you love it, then you're going to go do your own thing anyway. You're not going to keep buying kits usually. unless it's just because it's so convenient, you know. But I like to at least get people started and give them a chance to try things without having to buy a 10-pound bag of glass or something like that. I know I'm probably missing a lot of comments, but I will go back, so you guys can feel free to ask me whatever, and I'll go back and read. But I am really got to put a move on it to get this done. Y'all okay? I know, aren't they pretty, Chrissy? I mean, there's a lot of projects you could do with this shape of glass. I mean, they're perfect for flowers, any kind of flower. And this would be beautiful for like a wedding gift because it's that pretty white. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do with this glass art. And I'll tell you this. Some people that are afraid of resin, sorry, hold please. If you're afraid of resin, or you have asthma, or somebody in your family has asthma and you don't want to use resin in your home, no problem. You can glue these on. You know, you can use some type of permanent glue if you prefer, and do them that way. I dropped a couple of pieces. I'm looking to see if it was any big ones because I think I've used all my big ones. Okay. And by the way, I think I can't remember now on my kit. Okay. So on the kit, it takes 17 large and 17 small. I'm looking at my notes. And I packed 20 of each so people will have enough, you know, and a little extra if they do a bigger flower. Okay, so there we go. It is ready for resin. Y'all see how easy this part was? Oh, was I in the camera the whole time? Somebody tell me if I was not. Yes, Christy, that's true. Art Resin brand, that's why people like us use Art Resin brand, because it is the safest. There are 2 brands that are really safe. And this is the one that's made in the USA that I trust 100%. You know, all the others, I'm not going to say they're not safe, but some are not safe. Some are not safe. And they're on the shelf, and they want you to go buy them, and they make it easy. It's right there. And I just beg of you guys to please do the research, because you may be putting things in your home that don't need to be there. Because I'm in a hurry, I'm kind of, just give me a second to pour this because I can't hardly do 2 things at once. Okay. But you want a 1-to-1 ratio. You want it to be exactly the same. So if you do a 1/2 ounce of one, you're going to do a 1/2 ounce of the other. I'm actually going to do just a tad bit more because I have something else to resin. So I will use this extra that I'm going to have on my other little project here. Okay, so I poured this and I set it aside. Now I'm going to take my other, so you've got resin and hardener, and you want to get in the habit of pouring one and putting it way to the side so that you know which one you just did. And I'm just doing it over here where I have a little level surface, and up high where I can see. Okay, let's just be sure they're exactly the same. And keep the, put the lid on it. But the point is, pour one into your cup and then set it away from you. And that way, if you get interrupted, you know which one you've already done, because it's got to be one of each. If you put 2 hardeners or 2 resins, obviously nothing will happen. It's a chemical reaction, they've got to mix together. And Christy, are you going to be able to do my time? You're so awesome, thank you. Christy's always my time girl. Okay, so I'm going to pour this into my cup, and I'm going to scrape this cup and get as much of it as I possibly can. And as you see, watching me, I'm trying to pour it right into the center of the cup and not get it down the sides as much as I can. I mean, it's not a big, huge deal, but you want all of the resin to be able to be stirred together well. So we're going to put it right there in the middle. And now I'm going to take my other and I'm going to do the same with it. And we're going to stir for 3 minutes. And that's why I always, have somebody keep my time, because from the time I start mixing with my little stick, we'll count 3 minutes, and then when that 3 minutes is up, it will be completely mixed together and ready to go. Okay, and have paper towels handy. And this is about how you need to stir, just slow and easy. It's boring, so during this 3 minutes you'll have something going on your TV or listening to music, because you literally just have to sit here and stir for 3 minutes. But we're going to chit chat, so we won't be bored. The view of the flower while you're working. Oh, good. Thank you, Judy, for telling me, because then I kind of panicked, like, was this not in the video the whole time? I know it was some, because I would look up, but kind of panicked. So I also will kind of scrape the sides a little bit as I go. And just remember to do that every so often so that all of it is getting mixed together. And I don't know if y'all can see, but it's cloudy right now. And once the 3 minutes is up, it will be clear. I have people always ask, hi, Lucretia. People ask, is it really a terrible smell? And it's not. I can smell it because I'm right here on it. And if somebody walked into the room, they'd say, oh, what is that? They'll smell it, but it never has given me a headache. And I get headaches from certain scents, especially cologne, just lots of things like that. Even lotions, different things will give me a really bad headache. And this has never given me a headache. So everybody's different, but for me, it has not. I do either open a window, or right now I've got a fan blowing on the medium. It's blowing pretty good on medium. And once I pour this over and we get it going, then it will sit for like 12 hours, so overnight. Tomorrow I'll come in here and look at it, and I will take it outside, take a picture, show everybody, and then it will continue to sit for another, how does it stay on your project? Melissa, I'm going to show you how I pour so that it doesn't go over. This is going to be a little bit more challenging because it is all the way to the edge like it is, but it can still be done. And if it goes over, it's okay, because I'm going to have it propped up on a couple of blocks. And if it goes over the side, it will go on paper and it won't ruin my desk or anything. I bet the time's up, but let me see. Spreading the craft love. Thank you, She's Crafty USA. Thank you, Carmen. Of course. So, I want to be sure I didn't. Hi, Karen. I want to be sure I did not miss Christy saying. The brand that we're using is Art Resin. Okay, thanks, Christy. I knew it was coming. Sorry, Art Resin. Can y'all see? And I choose it because of the safety. It's just a very trustworthy product with no VOCs or CBAs, BCAs, which is just the abbreviations for a really long, harmful chemical. Long word. I am drizzling over all this glass. Sometimes for different projects, I put a little bit of resin on first and then put some glass and then drizzle over the top. It just depends, and I'd go into all that kind of stuff more in my private group. I don't have the time to go into everything on a live, as well as that's why I have a private group, is to go into the really, we take our time in there, and answer questions 24/7 basically and help people with things. Okay, so once I'm sure that this has sufficient resin, then I'm going to move over. But you're kind of just watching to see how it drips down. You want it to go over every piece. And once it cures, this glass is going nowhere. It won't budge. You can't make it budge. And then here I'm going to go around all of the, see how it's kind of touching down on each of these white pieces. I don't need to cover it all, but I do need it to touch down on them. And then, you know, I can just kind of do it like this, but you're just watching that every piece that you have on here is getting some resin on it. Okay, so now all of my white pieces have been touched by this resin. And now I can just kind of take my stick and drizzle it on these open areas. And there are many ways to do this, guys. I show a lot of different ways on other videos where I put my pieces out, you know, real neatly. And other artists will have their own styles. You can watch them and just kind of, you know, and then come up with your own, what you like to do. It just takes time and practice. And then you kind of come up with how you like yours to be. Some people like a whole lot of resin. I'm really frugal, so I try to use as little as possible. And Melissa had asked about how does it not go over the edges, and you can see that I am kind of taking my stick and dropping it down. Okay, so I'm dropping it down and just kind of patting it until it's so, but it stops. It's not, I'm not pouring so much that it's going over the edge, right? We've got 5 minutes. So it's just stopping here. Now I am holding this all wonky so y'all can see, so it's probably gonna go over the edge because you just can, you know, I can't really hold it up and move it around like I am and keep it totally neat. But if it does, it's not going to hurt anything because I've got paper down here. But you never want to set this on paper or on furniture or anything to cure, because if it does run over, it would be cured to that furniture, right? So you want to set it up on, you want to have paper or plastic underneath. Like this is like 3 layers of paper. But you could have plastic. A trash bag would be great. And then you want to put something like, let's say this glass or whatever, and you want to have it to where you, now this cup isn't going to work because it's the hole in this canvas. But if you had a 2, that's why I use 2 jars usually, and I have it sitting like this, and it will just sit there all night long on, and it'll be level on a level surface, and it will cure overnight. So the 12 hours you leave it covered overnight, and then like I said, in the morning I'll come in and look at it, take a picture if I want to, but I won't touch it. If I touch it, which I've done, if you touch it with your finger in the morning, you'll have a fingerprint, a pretty tacky, ugly fingerprint, and you really can't remove it. So you only touch it by the sides or the bottom. So it's dangerous. Like I don't really even recommend that, but that's just what I do. But if you're starting out, I would not touch it for the full 24 hours so that it's really good and cured. Now you don't mail it for, I don't ever ship these for like 3 days because it continues to cure. It continues to get harder for the next couple of days. But after 24 hours, you can touch it all you want and you won't have a fingerprint. It just continues to get harder. Okay, so there we go. Now, I've got a ton of resin left. So like I told you, I'm going to do something with it. But this is an extra step you can take. You can take a gloved finger and rub that resin on the sides of your canvas and get a really nice shiny coating on the sides. But again, you have to be sure that you have something that you've set this on to cure, and it's got to be level. That's why you always have to use a level. Make sure, that your table's level. Then I put it on my jars or whatever, make sure those are level, and before you set this down, because if this is off even a few centimeters, you know, just a little bit, what's going to happen? It's all going to run to that one end. So it definitely needs to be level. But that's it, guys. So I know the resin is a little probably overwhelming if you're thinking like, oh, I'd love to do that, but it's kind of scary. I get it. It is. I mean, it is intimidating. Most everybody feels that way about it. So it doesn't have to be for everybody. But if you're like, but I think I'd like to try it, then just keep watching videos. I have a ton on YouTube, and I'm not always this thorough because, like I said, they're usually lives. But I've got a couple of classes that are $10, and they are this thorough or even more so because they're paid class. But I keep them $10 because they're reasonable. I just want you to try it. So you can always take one of those classes. I hate to resin this side before I fix it. I think I'll leave that imperfection because I always say to people, I don't mind imperfections in my art because it reminds us that we're not perfect, our art's not perfect, and it doesn't have to be. It's still pretty. So I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to resin right over it, and that will be my little reminder. All right, guys, that is it. You got pretty much the whole lesson on this. I will take a heat gun. Now, I'm setting it on the paper now just to show you that you want to get the bubbles out. So that's why I give you a toothpick. You can sit and meticulously pick them if that's all you have. You can use a lighter that has the longer thing. I use this little kitchen torch, like a butane torch. It's $20 on Amazon, and they're out. They're gone. That's why I like it. It's so fast. So that is it. That's our black and white project with a pop of color. Thank you, Tammy, for letting me have the color, because now I think it's perfect for me. And guys, I'll go back and answer your questions. Thank y'all for being here. Next, let's see. Somebody was going to give me something to pin, I believe. I've gone blank on who's next. Oh gosh, somebody help me. Help me. It's like at the top of my tongue, and I did put it up in the description of this video. You can go to creative. Oh Lord, I didn't write it down. Help me, Tammy. Help me. Crafting Creatives Community, I believe. Listen, I'm wrong because I just know it. But go up to the description of this video. You'll be able to go see who's next and go watch all the other crafters. It's been great being here with you, and I will go back and read your comments. Thank y'all for being here. Hope you have a great night. Thank you to Tammy and Christy for including me today. I appreciate it. Yes, Honeysuckle Haven. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate you. I knew it. Thanks, guys.